Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and I'm going to tell you about how the engine in my Great Lakes Biplane quit in the traffic pattern today. But it quit in the best possible location, so it makes it kind of just a funny story more than anything else, so I thought I'd kind of include it in here. The purpose of the flight was to go up and do some aerobatics and to do some patterns. And of course, I'm always fighting the traffic at Lake in the Hills, but I actually got a few in here. But let me tell you a little interesting about the way I like to fly the Great Lakes. I like to fly it like I flew in the military, and that's nice tight patterns. And I also fly at idle power, which is kind of doing the commercial maneuver each time. Now, let me tell you about an F-16 test pilot back in the late 70s, a guy named Dean Stickle. He was flying the F-16. This was out at Edwards at the Flight Test Center, and I'm out in the current ops. I'm manning the radios and the telephones and that, and kind of keeping track of how everything's going. And I get a call from F-16 that's rolling out, and it's Dean, and he says, "Hey, I need a tow." And I go, "Okay, what's going on?" And he says, "Well, my engine quit." And Dean liked to always fly idle patterns in the F-16. And this is, well, they're still in flight test. They haven't gone operational or anything, and, they're a new airplane. And he liked to fly idle patterns. Well, that's kind of cool. But he says, because of that, the engine was in idle the entire time. And when the engine quit, the EPU, the emergency power unit, fired up. It's a little hydrazine motor. Hydrazine's nasty stuff, but it's right behind his head there, and it sounded like the engine, so he didn't know it quit until he was rolling out, and the master caution panel was lighting up with all sorts of failures, so he realized his engine had quit. Kind of interesting story. So, I'm getting out in my Great Lakes, and I'm ready to go fly.
Okay. Approach was a little high. Everything looks good. Here we go. Yes, and I have had people come to me for marriage counseling. Yeah, they said aerobatics was cheaper and more fun than marriage counseling, and they thought it'd be better for their marriage. So I had a couple come, and I taught them both aerobatics. Can you believe that?
And as you can see, it's just a beautiful day to fly, so I thought I'd get some patterns in, but I figured Lake in the Hills was going to be busy, but it turned out not to be busy, so I actually got a few before I left to go up and do some acro. We had a south wind, so it was a direct crosswind, and that's always good practice in a biplane.
All right, control check is good. Not a whole lot to check on this aircraft, other than a mag check and make sure that it's the prop is governing.
I was trying to take off around the noon hour. Hopefully everybody would be at lunch, but seems like there's a lot of crossover there, and it wasn't as quite as not busy as I thought.
Okay, do the run-up.
UX, Lake in the Hills Airport. VFR Automated Weather Advisory. Wind 190 at 5. Visibility missing. Temperature 29 Celsius, 2.29 Celsius. Altimeter 29906. Condensation altitude 900.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 8116 Bravo, 5 miles to the north, going to be overflying the field at 2500 for a teardrop entry. Runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
All right, it's going to be crowded enough. I can go up to Stacy anyway. Lake in the Hills traffic, Great Lakes, November 727, Kilo Romeo biplane, taking runway 26, departing to the northwest.
Of course, I can always change my mind about departing when I saw the pattern really wasn't quite as busy as I thought, so I'd just get a few patterns in here just for the heck of it before I left. Oh, one other thing, the AWOS there, it's got temperature 29, dew point at 29. We weren't in fog here, and it is a little hazy. Yeah, I'm not correcting for that south wind. Okay. It was a little hazy, but I think the dew point measurement may be in error because it's missing just about everything else.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 124 uniform, Maneuvering 5.5 miles to the south for 45-degree left downwind for runway 26, Lake and Hill traffic.
Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo. Change plans, staying in the pattern for one pattern for departing. And turning downwind, runway 26, Lake and Hill.
South inbound. Electric traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning right crosswind for 29 Burlington.
Okay, it's a south wind, so it's an overshooting wind, no headwind, so I got to take that into account. Go out just a titch farther. All right. Lake and Hills traffic, Great Lakes, November 727 Kilo Romeo. Left base, runway 26, Lake and Hills, touch go.
0 at 4. Visibility missing. Temperature 29 Celsius, 2.29 Celsius. Altimeter 296. Condensation altitude 900.
Yeah, condensation altitude 900. Come on, give me a break. It's 85 degrees. I don't think the adiabatic or non-adiabatic lapse rate is losing that much temperature as we go up. And yeah, I have to do better here. I'm not correcting for the crosswind. I'm letting it drift to the right, which is poor airmanship there. That's why I need to practice so much. Okay, I said I was going to do one pattern. It still is fairly clear. So I'm going to get another quick pattern in here. Strike while the iron's hot.
Lake in the Hills, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, 3 miles for 45-degree left downwind for runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Lake and Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo biplane, left downwind, runway 26, touch go, Lake and Hills.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo turning right base for 29 Burlington.
All right, that was a short enough final due to no headwind. I mean, decent enough. Just a little bit more, but an overshooting tendency. Lake and Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo, turning left base, runway 26, touch and go, Lake and Hills. Nobody on final.
And Burlington M52 Papa Tango 3 to the northwest, to the right now, 129 Burlington.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering left downwind runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior A116 Bravo, 3 mile 45 for runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Again, hugging the right side of the runway. Need to correct that more.
Okay, now time to go.
Yeah, the pattern's starting to get busy. People are coming back, and so time to head on to a little practice area I have just west of a town there. I use Highway 47 as a good north-south reference. Clear of houses and not in the airspace area.
Lake and Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo, departing pattern to the northwest.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 4627 Foxtrot, taking up a runway 26, heading to northeast, Lake in the Hills.
All right, coming over South High School there, heading north towards downtown Crystal Lake, and going to fly over the lake as I head on out.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 8116 Bravo, left downwind for runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering left base runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
And there's Crystal Lake coming up on the left. And everybody's back in school, so the lake, even though it's still fairly warm, is just a little breath of activity. Just a few fishermen out there.
Another lovely day in Crystal Lake.
Yeah, Burlington 2 Papa Tango, right, base 29, Burlington, full stop.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering final runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 1 Hotel Sierra is about 8 miles to the southwest. We'll be maneuvering for the 45 for runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo, turning right crosswind for 29, Burlington.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 8116 Bravo, left base for runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning right downwind for 29, Burlington.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 8116 Bravo, final for runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
And it is September 19th, towards the end of September, but it's still quite nice in the 80s. Air conditioner's still on. But it's going to get cold soon, and probably very soon, so the days of open cockpit flying are going to come to an end here unless we have some Indian summer or Native American summer, however you want to say that, coming up.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, clear of runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Burlington 2 Papa Tango, clear of 29, please.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 8116 Bravo, going around runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Burlington traffic, Church 25 Foxtrot, 3 miles to the southwest, climbing out of the pattern at this time, Burlington.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 1 Hotel Sierra is on a 5-mile 45 for runway 26, looking for traffic on upwind.
Well, the economy must be doing pretty well, because everybody and their brother and sister are up flying today, and they usually are.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning right base for 29, Burlington.
Okay, so the program now is to gain altitude. Clear as you're going. I set up the ADSB because everybody this close to Chicago pretty much has it, but of course that's never foolproof, but it helps. I've got that up on my Garmin 660, kind of keep track of everybody.
And there's my Highway 47 I like to use as a reference.
Lake in the Hills Airport, VFR Automated Weather Advisory, wind 250 at 4. Visibility missing, temperature 29 Celsius, 2.29 Celsius, altimeter 29 condensation altitude 900.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Warrior 8116 Bravo, left downwind for runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo, turning final for 29, will be a touch and go, Burlington.
Just a slightly hazy day, but not bad.
About on the 45, good.
ADSB seems clear. Looking good. Boost pumps coming on, fuel pump. Everything coming forward. I've got my entry altitude. All right, clearing. Let's get some airspeed. Get my 125 for a loop. Checking the wingtip. Floating it over the top. Get a little light. Coming back on through. Coming in on my 3G. There it is. Let's go right into another one. Checking the wing shift. Yeah, just slightly, almost negative over the top there. I got a little slow. Let's come in. Let's do an aileron roll now. Bring it on up. There we go. Not too bad. Airspeed again. Let's try another one. Control forces are fairly heavy. How about a Dimmelman? I mean, a hammerhead. I love this maneuver. I just have to remember what it's called. There we go. Almost went over on the back. Got a little slow. Okay, down.
Entering the left downwind.
That's why it's good to practice this. Altitude's still good. Let's go into another one. A little bit better. Just a little more airspeed when I did the turn. So I kept a little bit under control. All right, pulled on through. Altitude's still good. Let's do another one. 3G full. Here we go.
Crosswind for 29, Burlington.
Oh, got down to no airspeed indicated on that. There we go. Control. Ooh, I hit my own turbulence. One more. And I'm going to have to climb back up. All right. Not bad. Okay. Coming back.
Right downwind for 29, Burlington.
Time to get some altitude. I guess I need a little more than 30 knots to climb.
Lake in Hills traffic, Warrior A116 Bravo, clear of runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk.
Okay, still clear in the area.
26, staying in the pattern, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Lake in Hills traffic, Warrior 1 Hotel Sierra, west base for runway.
Nice thing about an aerobatic aircraft, it is very maneuverable.
Island traffic, 26 Charlie Bravo, 10 miles to the east, straight in runway 26, Island.
Uh, 757 Bravo Sierra, we were setting up for the,
All right, altitude's good. That's set up for an Immelman.
Yeah, we got you in favor about south speed bogey.
And there, I'm looking for 130 on the entry airspeed. All right, there we go, coming on up.
Traffic, Warrior 1 Hotel, short time of 126.
Northwest. Okay, do the roll. I think my G-pole was a little light. Yeah, I got a little low on airspeed.
Burlington.
Let's do another one.
3200 Echo is turning right base for 29,
All right, not too bad. I want to get just a little more south here.
Burlington traffic.
Okay, good altitude. Now let's do some cloverleaves. Those are fun.
Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering left crosswind, runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Lake in Hills traffic, Warrior 1 Hotel Sierra, clear runway 26, Lake in the Hills.
Didn't quite get my nose high enough. Let's come back on that again. 3.7G. Yeah, see, I got dug in a little too much. That's better floating on the top. Get right in on the G early, watching my altitude, checking it. Coming back in. That's a good turn. And here we go again. If you don't get the nose up high enough, when you come back through, you're going low and fast, and you don't want that. Okay. Well, doing a 3.7G to correct for that one, which was a little not quite the best nose position. Come on, keep the roll going. All right, come on through.
Right down 129. Right, okay. Charlie Bravo, short final 26.
Yeehaw! Aileron roll, why not?
And,
How about a hammerhead?
You guys up.
Lean into the left. That's not good. Airspeed got low. Very little. Yeah, see, no control coming out of it. Okay, back in.
431.
Just enough altitude for one more. Up we go. Okay, there we go. A little more control. Indicating about 30, but still full right aileron. Keep it going over on the back. Okay, let's do one more. I just love these.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning crosswind 59, Burlington.
Now, I don't know if that's getting better at doing them slow or not. But I get more out of the maneuver. Okay, now let's go on up to Daisy for fun. Do some patterns. Okay, boost bump off.
Burlington traffic 4310 Juliet. Right base 29 full stop. Burlington.
The traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning right downwind 429, Burlington.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform entering left base runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Yeah, very often I have the traffic pattern at Daisy to myself, but I noticed a guy on ADS-B up there, and he wasn't talking, so I thought, maybe he's just going by. But he ended up being shooting patterns to 9 there, and I wanted 1-8 since the wind was out of the south there, but he eventually came around to use 1-8.
All right. Essentially, cruise power setting set here. I got manifold pressure at 25 inches. RPM of 1760, a little on the low side on the green band. We'll bring it up here a little bit more. And 7.2 gallons on the fuel flow. Now, they had the paper about some guy who had a castle up in this area of near Harvard. Don't know quite where it is. It had a real big price on it. Could stick out, but you know the way things are from the air. It can be really big looking and it doesn't show up very much. Now we'll take a quick look, see if we see anything.
I also had a friend up here. His name was Pat, and his wife's name is Pat. So that's a little confusing, an androgynous name like that. But he was a ham radio operator, and anybody familiar with that? He had an old, I think it was an Art 34, an old mechanical teletype. There's a bunch of people who just love those, and that was kind of his main thing, was doing teletype, which is kind of cool. We actually had that type of teletype in the sheriff's office when I worked back there in the early 70s as a radio operator.
All right, 3.7 positive G's and minus 0.8.
Yeah, it's fun to fly aerobatics. It's just for me. It's just very relaxing and enjoyable. And the thing I liked about flying high performance aircraft in the Air Force was, and the same thing with aerobatics, you can just kind of put the nose wherever you want it, and you're still in, as long as you got decent airspeed, you're still in plenty of control. And, a biplane, if you run out of airspeed, the nose falls and you get the airspeed back. So it works very easily, and it's very fun and controllable. And of course, you notice my blue parachute there, not taking any chances. And of course, the nice thing about flying over northern Illinois in a single engine airplane is you just got almost everywhere to land. Now, of course, I didn't know where this castle that the newspaper had was north, south, or anything like that. And after I messed around in the pattern a little bit and had the engine that didn't want to be my friend, I decided I'll just head back to Lake in the Hills.
Safety traffic 4 is 3 miles to the northwest, landing straight in for runway 9 with singular engine failure. Sorry, circling runway 9 and then answering runway 9 for singular engine failure.
All right, I previously made the comment that I didn't hear anybody on the radio, but he certainly did a very good job of reporting his position and intentions. I guess I was looking for that castle and just not paying attention. My bad.
place that looks like a castle. Yeah, but it's not the place they're talking about.
Safety traffic, Sky 364.
Yeah, place right down there.
Runway 9 with simulated engine failure, Daisy.
Also had a friend who had a house up here. I visited him a long time ago. I had heard there were two houses. A friend built it, but I heard he had passed away. And I don't quite remember where it was, and I don't see anything that quite looks right. Well, there's AC Everett. AC traffic, Great Lakes, November 727 Kilo Romeo is 1 mile to the southeast, be entering left downwind for runway 18, Daisy.
So I got this other guy in the pattern, really no problem. And way in the past, I've done patterns, and people have been on different runways and stuff, and it works out as long as you're careful and you don't run into each other.
Safety driver, Great Lakes, River 727 Kilo Romeo, left downwind, runway 18, safety. I'm in a little bit tight. Okay, there's my traffic up there. I showed something on ADSB. Couldn't find him. Never a good feeling. But I found him.
Safety traffic, Sky 364 is turning left base, runway 9, safety.
So that pattern was perfectly normal. And like I said, I like to fly idle patterns, nice and tight. And the, end number 727 is probably a good end number, because the 727 would come out of the sky if you wanted it to. The old joke was, if you could see it, the runway under the nose, you could land on it.
Safety traffic, Great Lakes, 727 Kilo Romeo, left downwind, runway 18.
Safety traffic, Sky 364, final runway 9, Daisy.
We're going to really have to avoid each other. Looks like we will. Safety traffic, Great Lakes, River 727 Kilo Romeo, left base, runway 18, Daisy. Okay, he's on the ground, so we have no collision issue. Like, most likely.
That ended up just being a little bouncy there.
That was a little bouncy. Station traffic, Great Lakes, River 727 Kilo Romeo, left downwind runway 18, station. Station traffic, Great Lakes, River 727 Kilo Romeo, left base runway 18, Daisy.
Okay, everything's still just going normally with the airplane, performing well.
Cloud traffic, Skyhawk 504 Foxtrot Alpha is 10 miles to the west, inbound for runway 18, cloud traffic.
Daisy traffic, Great Lakes, River 727 Kilo Romeo, left downwind runway 18, Daisy. Daisy traffic, Great Lakes, River 727 Kilo Romeo, left base runway 18, Daisy.
Okay, now this is where the pattern gets interesting. As I mentioned, I fly idle approaches. I usually have to add sometimes a little titch of power, trying, like doing the commercial spot landing maneuver every time I land. But I usually bring the power up a little bit just to check and make sure the engine is running. But I always pull it to idle on the rollout because you don't want any extra power. That'll always cause you problems. Bad habit. Well, that can't be good.
Oh, that's not good. Engine quit on a touch and go. Wow. That's interesting. Not quite sure why that happened. Station traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo, back taxiing runway 18. Plus the idle just got low.
And that was the issue. When I came back and checked it, it was idling like 520 to 480 RPM. That's just way too low. So the mechanic back at Lake in the Hills upped the idle for me. He could actually reach through the bottom of the aircraft near the exhaust up through the bottom vent and do a quarter turn on the controller.
Station traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo, taking off runway 18 AC, departing southeast.
So I decided it was time just to take it back home and let them look things over. But I figured it was the standard thing. I had this problem on my 310 too. The idle will get too low and I'll be taxiing out and the engine, one engine or the other will quit on me. Kind of embarrassing. Now, I mentioned that I had functioned as a marriage counselor for this one couple when I had my aerobatic school back in Wichita. I called it Air Capital Aerobatics. Still do. I still have it as a entity for various reasons and stuff. But yeah, they came to me because they said flying aerobatics, learning aerobatics was cheaper than marriage counseling. And it was kind of interesting. She was a lovely young lady, and he owned a car dealership, and he was building a Skybolt. That was his project.
Safety traffic, Sky 364 is departing runway 1A, staying on the pattern, safety.
And so they would come and take aerobatics, and they just loved it and got good at it. And we had a fun time flying together, and she had this very nice brown Corvette. And I made the comment to her, I said, boy, what'd that set you back? And she says, 12 years of a horrible marriage. Well, I gave them both aerobatic instruction, and John just was not interested in ever getting married. And she was getting a little frustrated with this, and I could tell. And I don't know if she did this to force her hand or if she gave up. I never really found out. But she ended up actually getting engaged to another guy, and they set a wedding date. And that was enough to cause John to go over the edge, and he asked her to marry her. Okay, she's already engaged. The wedding day is set to this other guy, and John says, okay, I'll marry you. And she dumps this other guy. I felt so bad for him. I didn't know who the guy was, but she dumps him like a hot potato. And her and John get married, and I gave him an aviation book of sorts as a wedding present. But yeah, they went on, and I ran into some people later who knew him, and they'd have a long, happy marriage and have a daughter, and just doing very well. I guess once he finally got over his cold feet, things worked out well. Now, I had a lot of interesting students. I had some that were going to go in the Air Force and be pilots, and I had this one guy, oh my gosh, did this guy get sick. I mean, we flew out of Dead Cow International at Wichita, southeast corner of the city, and we flew up to Benton, and Benton was kind of interesting. The airport up there, it really developed nicely. They wanted to sell porta-ports, and I could have bought one, rented it out, but interest was 17% back then. Yeah, you think it's high now. It was 17% back then, and I decided not to, but it would have been probably an okay investment because that place just built out beautifully and become a very nice airport, but I'd go up there and use the grass strip. And he got sick, so we landed there. I mean, I'm in the back seat of the Decathlon. He's in the front seat, and the instrument panel is just absolutely sprayed. So he gets the honor and the joy of going up there and cleaning that whole thing off. Okay, he's going to go in and be an Air Force pilot. I hope he got over his sickness. Flying aerobatics on a little airplane is a lot different than flying in the military, but if you have a tendency to get sick, I don't know if it carries over. That's the funny thing. I never did hear, how this came out. And I used to fly with a lot of students. I was working at Boeing, originally in flight test. Then I became the lead engineer in the microwave technology group. And after work, I would fly. I could get one flight in the evening during the warmer weathers in the Decathlon. So I'd do one flight every evening, and then on Sunday afternoon, I'd do 3 flights. With students. So I had a lot of students, and I was booked very well. I was the only person in Kansas that I knew of that gave aerobatic instruction. So I was having a fun time, and I had a lot of students, and I had Jim was a student, big guy. I could not see past him to see the instruments, and when we were doing aerobatics, he would just literally shake out of fear. It was really something. But he got to the point where that all went away, and he just loved it. In fact, we were one time doing snap roll after snap roll after snap roll, and we had done about 9 snap rolls. And I've never been sick in an airplane, but I'm starting to get a little queasy in the back seat. And I said, I think, Jim, I think we've done enough of those. Let's go on to something else. Something that my stomach can do a little bit better. Because snap rolls can be a little bit, let's call them disruptive, as it were. And then one of my more interesting students. Okay, and this was I had this student at the time where I still worked at Cessna in flight test. Okay, I'm many, many, many iterations down the food chain at Cessna. And this student was from a very wealthy family. In fact, Myers was the CEO. I forget his first name, but Myers was the CEO of Cessna at the time I was there in the early 80s. And this student of mine, his father was good friends with the CEO Myers, and he would go to supper with him and stuff like that. So he knew the CEO very well, which is something I didn't know. I met actually one of the Wallaces. He passed away shortly after, but I took him up to see I think his mother, who was not doing well, and I flew the company Cessna 414, and I stopped on the way up at my home airport, and I pull in this beautiful 414, which actually had some experimental navigation equipment in it. But I pull in this 414, and the FBO, good old E.K. Jones, he goes, "That's yours?" And I go, "Well, no, it belongs to Cessna Aircraft." And he goes, "Well, yeah, it's a Cessna." I go, "No, it belongs to Cessna Wallace, the company." And I'm going up to pick up the chief engineer. Oh, and they had a stack of fuel cards. I could get fuel just about, whoever had the dealership there. I had a ton of cards, and my boss says, "Oh, by the way, don't worry about going up there. You can stop at your hometown if it's on the way." And he knew it was, and he says, "Yeah, give your folks a ride in the 414 and, stuff like that." So that was kind of cool. Very laid back at the time. I doubt since Textron took it over, it's anywhere near laid back like that now. But it was a very nice, personable company back then. But again, I was hardly on a first name basis with the CEO. So I found that kind of interesting. I had a very rich student who came from a very well-to-do family, and I actually don't know if I ever knew what ever happened to him. And of course, that's the unfortunate thing. You come across a lot of people in your life, and they come and go, and you lose contact, and you kind of go, "Gosh, I wonder whatever happened to that person." And well, I must admit, with this YouTube channel, I have actually reconnected with a bunch of old friends and acquaintances and people I worked with and stuff like that. And it's really kind of fun to catch up and see what's going on there. And so that is one really good aspect of this whole thing. And we're cruising by Woodstock here, not the Woodstock where they had the big music festival. That's in New York, but it's Woodstock, Illinois. And of course, we have Harvard, and I've been to Harvard many times, and it's not that Harvard. It's Harvard, Illinois. Totally different. But anyway, I digress. So I figured, hey, I'd come back and I'd get a landing in and put the airplane away and check that idle. When I got on the ground, like I mentioned, it was like 520 to 480, and that's just way too low, and got it adjusted. But the pattern actually wasn't that busy. There's a whole bunch of little gaps like that if you time it right and fit in right, boy, you can get in and get a few patterns, and that's what it ended up happening.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering left base, runway 26. Lake in the Hills traffic.
Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning left base, runway 11, Berlin.
Lake Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo biplane is 5 miles, 4 miles northwest, entering left downwind runway 26, Lake Hills.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering final runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
Traffic, turn 355 left front, runway 11 for
16 traffic, Skyhawk 534 from Foxtrot on the left downwind runway 26, 16 traffic.
Berlin traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo is turning final. It's going to be a stop and go, Berlin.
Burlington traffic, Farron 7355 Charlie, left downwind runway 11, Burlington, full stop.
County traffic, Skyhawk 534 from Foxtrot on the left base, runway 26, 16 traffic.
Lake Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo is over top, entering a left downwind runway 26, full stop. Lake Hills.
00 Echo is turning.
Lake in the Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, clear of runway 26, Lake in the Hills traffic.
26, 16 traffic.
Traffic, Farron 7355 Charlie, turning left base for 11, full stop, taxi back, Burlington.
Lake Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo left base, runway 26, Lake Hills. Lake Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo left base, runway 26, Lake Hills.
Burlington traffic, 421 Kilo Mike. What's the current runway in use for 11 or 29 Burlington? A for 11 in Burlington.
traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo, turning left base for 11, Burlington.
Lincoln Hills traffic, Great Lakes Biplane 727 Kilo Romeo, left downwind runway 26 Lincoln Hills. Got a little dust devil out there. Don't like that. Lincoln Hills traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo, left base runway 26 Lincoln Hills.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo, on final for 11, be a full stop.
Yeah, nice low crosswind, not much, but little.
Lincoln Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, departing runway 26 for the south. Lincoln Hills traffic.
So things were light enough, I actually got several patterns in.
Lincoln Hills traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo, left downwind, runway 26 Lincoln Hills. Lincoln Hills traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo, left base runway 26 Lincoln Hills.
Lincoln Hills Airport, bearing 669 Charlie Sierra, about 10 miles to the southwest inbound for runway 26, Lincoln Hills.
That's the whole thing. If I think I'm on the ground, I pull the stick back and it just wants to fly.
These biplanes just have so much lift in the wings and drag.
Lincoln Hills, Comanche 9176 Papa, entering the 45 about 3.5 miles out for 26.
All right, getting busy. Lincoln Hills traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo biplane, left downwind runway 26 Lincoln Hills.
Lincoln, Lincoln Hills traffic, Skyhawk 1242 uniform, entering left crosswind to the south. Lincoln Hills traffic.
6 Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 regular, turning right crosswind for grass strip 19, Burlington.
Traffic on the crosswind for Lincoln Hills. You have the Comanche in sight on the, just about to enter the downwind off the crosswind. Traffic flight 14 uniform.
Lincoln Hills traffic, Great Lakes River 727 Kilo Romeo, left base runway 26, full stop Lincoln Hills.
Burlington traffic, Skyhawk 3200 Echo, turning left downwind for right downwind for runway 11, Burlington. Right downwind runway 19, grass 19 Burlington.
Lincoln Hills, Comanche's downwind 26 Lincoln Hills.
Yeah, we're going to fly midfield and then kind of come back around since there's so much traffic.
Yeah, not any headwind, so I can't make that first turn off. Well, I could have if I landed a little shorter, but it is what it is. Lake Hills traffic, Great Lakes November 727 Kilo Romeo, clear the active runway 26, Lake in the Hills. Lincoln Hills, Comanche's turning base 26, Lincoln Hills. Okay, it idles at about 600 RPM. Talk to my mechanic, see if that's low.
Hill traffic, bearing 669 Charlie Sierra on the left crosswind for runway 26, Lincoln Hills.
Burlington, bearing 7355 Charlie, left crosswind, runway 11, Burlington.
Burlington traffic, twin Cessna 421 Kilo Mike, currently 7 miles to the east, going to be going to the south here to join straight in traffic for 1-1 Burlington.
Okay, we're idling about $6.550 on the RPM. 500.
Traffic, bearing 669.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the low side. 4, got below 500. All right.
All right, we're here.
All
All
right,
right,
we're
I
here.
hope you enjoyed that. It was a little bit of a long flight, but I've talked about shortening them up, and I've had people say, no, give me the whole thing. So you can always fast forward, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.